Happy Friday, everyone. I just wanted to take a quick moment to come and just welcome you to this space and make sure that you know who we are, what we're doing, and how 2020 might have changed a little bit of that. But we are Virginia BLOC, and that stands for Black Leadership Organizing Collaborative. And we have been in the community since 2016, starting very, very fresh in 2016 in Newport News and Hampton. And we have grown since then through your membership and through your work. And we are just so glad to be a part of the work being done in the community. But we do basically three things. We do voter engagement, and we call it integrated voter engagement, civic involvement, and leadership development. And so I just wanted to say a little bit about what those are, how it connects to this moment, and how you can connect with us. So integrated voter engagement is basically thinking about entering into the democratic space with your vote. And so whether or not that is people helping to get their rights restored so that they can register to vote again, or if it's helping you register, helping you update your information, knowing what's going to be on your ballot, knowing where to vote, when to vote, how you can vote, all of the new changes with the laws on voting, the importance of the census and how you're being counted is important to your democratic power. And then we talk about what voters' responsibilities are after you vote, because we are responsible to be active at any given day throughout the year. And so that kind of leads into the civic involvement. And so that is attending meetings, knowing what's going on in your neighborhood, what is your government doing, reaching out to your elected officials, because we need to hear from you, making sure that you're connected to decisions that are being made where you have input, applying for boards and commissions, activism, and also advocacy efforts, so that as the decisions are being made, you can make sure that your voice has been heard. And then within that, we do leadership development, because sometimes, you just want to do more and take lead and help others come to the table. And so we do that with our members that we're working with, whether it's a natural progression of leadership or an intentional workshop or relationship that we have to mentor folks within this process. And we do that for youth and adults. But basically, we help communities like yours and groups like yours think of what they want to see happen differently in the community and then work toward it to achieve it. And so for the last 3 years, we've been working on childhood hunger and making sure that our local school meal policies were taking into account economic justice, economic reality, and making sure that our children were fed. And we've made great strides on that locally, Newport News, Hampton, also statewide, with some bills that were passed along with our advocacy, the Action Squad, just amazing. And we've also raised over $8,000 in the last 3 years campaigns in order to pay down some of that debt that families were carrying from school meals that should have never happened. And so you can check some of our previous posts about that, how you can get engaged with the CARE Project. And that has just been amazing to watch how voter engagement goes to actual change in the community. And that's been amazing. Shout out to the Action Squad. Y'all are amazing, amazing. And so that work has kind of stalled for a moment. There are some pieces of information that we need that have been impacted by COVID-19, and that slowed it up a little bit. But the work doesn't stop. We continued. We just had a public meeting where we talked about healthcare and we talked about economic justice. And so those are the spaces that our next issue campaigns will be on, and it is all connected. And so whether we are helping people finish the census before the deadline, whether we're making sure people have applied to get their rights restored or registered to vote, learning about vote by mail, learning more about, what's going to be on your ballot in November, or we're working for special sessions to make sure that your voice is heard in the decisions that leaders are making about the budget, about police reform, about COVID-19 responses on the state level and the federal level. All of this is what we work on every day. And so shout out to Cameron Bell, our lead organizer. Shout out to Samora Ward, community organizer, Q Cocktail, community organizer, and Michael Daniels, community organizer. And right now we have 9 amazing people working with us, either as intern or as a digital organizer. Lots of HU students, and so they have just been really putting in the work and helping us make sure that we're creating community and staying engaged with the community, even if it has to be digitally now because of the pandemic. So we are working from home and working from safe spaces, but still connected to community and still connected to the work. And so this organizing work is really the next step in the process for protesting. And so there are folks on the front line, still on the front line, especially in areas like Richmond, but creating the pressure such that changes can happen in the policy space. And what we do is to push while that pressure is still there to make sure that those policy changes are happening. And so we really want you to join us. Come be a part of this space. We are looking for new members. We are looking for volunteers. There are so many things that we are doing that you could plug in your time, talent, resources, and play to your strengths. So if you're good on the phone, if you're good in person and you're out and about, if you're good at research, if you're good at social media, if you're good at meeting with legislators, if you're good at, brainstorming solutions to problems, if you're good at event planning, and even more. That's all I can think of just on the fly. But even more, we want you to come join us and be a part of the team. And so there's space for you here. A lot of people are like, okay, now what? What's next? We are what's next. Come work with us. Help us move forward the agendas based on the input that we've gotten from the community within the healthcare and economic justice space. If you are good with financial literacy and things that we can do towards financial security and making sure that we're repairing damage that, previous policies have done. If you're good in that headspace, we want to hear from you. If you're good in healthcare as a right, whether it's Medicare for all and really explaining it and demystifying it, or if you're within the healthcare system and you're like, you know what, this is what we really need to work on foundationally because you have that inside view, we want to hear from you. And so it's going to take all kinds of voices, all kinds of people. But if you're in Newport News and Hampton and you want to be a part of change that we are co-creating in this new normal, we invite you. There is space for you here, and we look forward to hearing from you. Talk to you soon.